Hi, I'm going to show you how to make a marshmallow Valentine bear today. They're very easy to make, and I think they make a really nice small Valentine's Day gift. So let's get started. Here I'm just showing you some of the things that you'll probably need to make a Valentine bear. I can give you a list of these things underneath my video. I'd like to show you how I go about making this frosting glue. I use it for attaching the smaller pieces to marshmallows and for attaching the pop sticks so that they'll remain secure. The recipe is very simple. All you need is a 1/4 cup powdered sugar and 1 1/4 teaspoons of water. So I'll mix that up right now. This is what our edible glue looks like now. And as you can see, it's pretty gooey. But we want it to be that way because if it were any more watery, then you might find that your small pieces will slide off of your marshmallows. But this is a good mixture, and once it's dry, you'll see that your pieces will stay in place very securely. Also, I would suggest to use this right away because it dries really fast. But if you're not going to use it immediately, you can cover it up with a piece of plastic. Now I'm going to work on the bear. Pick a marshmallow that has a nice shape to it. Sometimes they're a little lopsided and they don't look very good. There's a couple of things you need to do to prepare the marshmallow before you dip it into the candy melt. We need to attach these ears and we need to attach the pop stick. And for the ears, we're going to use a couple of pieces of corn candy. First, we're going to poke a couple of holes into this marshmallow. One here and one here along this edge. And do that with your pop stick. Dip it into the glue so that it'll go into the marshmallow easier. And make a hole here. I would say about, 1/3 of an inch in. Dip it into the glue again and make a hole on the other side. And now dip the corn candy into the glue and stick it into that slit. Do the same with the other one, like that. Now we can attach the stick on the bottom and use the same end that you used earlier to dip into the glue. The advantage is that it will go into the marshmallow easier, and it'll also leave less of a dent at the bottom. So poke that into the marshmallow about, I would say halfway, not more than 3/4 of the way in. Now adjust your ears a little bit and put it down flat on a plate to dry for about, I would say, 20 minutes before you dip it into candy melt. What you can do at this point is make a whole bunch of these and let them all dry. Then after that, prepare your candy melt. That way you'll have a whole bunch of these marshmallow pops that you can dip at once. Now I'm ready to prepare the candy melt. I'm going to use these white vanilla flavored Wilton candy melts. I'm going to put the whole bag into this bowl. And I'm going to leave them in the microwave for 1 minute. Then I'll check them by stirring a little bit. If they're still pretty thick, then I know with my microwave I can leave them in for another 30 seconds. So I left this candy melt in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. It looked good, but I decided to add 1 teaspoon of this cooking oil just to make it a little bit more liquid. That way the candy melt will spread more evenly across the surface of the marshmallows. Okay, now the ears are dry, so I can dip this into the candy melt. I'm going to dip each side in separately, the front, the side, the back, and the side. And now if there's some sections missing, like the area around the stick, I like to use a spoon with a little candy melt on it to kind of fill that in, just like you would with a brush. You can also pour it over some areas that might have some candy melt missing, like around the ears or whatever. Now tap the marshmallow on the side of the bowl to get rid of the excess candy melt. This will also help the candy melt spread more evenly across the surface of your marshmallow. Now just keep tapping and pay attention to the front side that you want to use as a face because you want that to look the best. If you have any blobs going on, like back here, you could move that around, kind of push around the candy melt or scrape it off with a little brush or with a toothpick. But now this looks pretty good, and so I'm going to put it into a foam stand, and then I'll put that into the refrigerator to dry for about 20 minutes. I want the candy melt to be completely dry before I work on the face. Next, we're going to start working on the face of the bear, and I'm going to attach the nose first. What you'll need is the frosting glue that we made earlier, and you'll also need a coffee bean. So take one of the coffee beans and a little paintbrush or a toothpick and apply some of the frosting glue onto the back of it. And now stick this onto the center of the face of the bear. Now just let that dry for about 10 or 15 minutes. While I was waiting for the noses to dry, I made this black frosting that I'm going to use as paint. I'm going to use it to paint the eyes and the mouth of the bear. I actually made this frosting in another video, so please refer to that, but I'll give you the recipe underneath this YouTube video. It's actually really easy to make. Now to get started painting, what you're going to need is this little brush, and it's a number 3 brush that I bought in a craft store. It has a nice thin tip, and it was very inexpensive. Take your bear and then just kind of make a dot for the left eye and the right eye. And you can just do that by kind of dabbing the brush down onto the face and then pulling it up again. So kind of dab it, push it down, and then pull it up again. Do the same for the other side. Now don't worry if you mess up, because you can wipe this off very easily with a damp tissue or paper towel. It comes off of this candy coating very easily. Now to make the mouth, we're going to make 2 arcs, and I'm going to just kind of rough it in first by making a line where I want the mouth to be. And now take more paint, put it on your brush, and trace over that line, and just kind of pull the paint along that line with your brush. And like I said, if you don't like it, you can wipe it off and start over. I'm pretty content with this, so I'm going to put this aside to dry for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to work on the ears a little bit. To make the face, you could also use this black decorating gel that's by Betty Crocker, and it has a nice thin tip, which I like about it. Now to make the eyes, hold the tube straight up and down, and then just kind of dab on a little drop like that, and then kind of, once you have enough on there, push down and then kind of pull it up. So you get these nice little round balls. Now, and for the mouth, we're going to draw 2 arcs underneath the nose again. I'm going to start in the middle and then pull this tube to the right, like this. And I'll do the same on the other side, like this. Now, I prefer doing this with a brush, like I showed you earlier, because I feel like I have a little more control over where the frosting goes. But if you don't want to make the frosting yourself, you could go out and buy this gel. So I'm going to let this dry with the other one. What I'd like to do next is I'd like to add a little bit of pink frosting in the ear area, here and here. So I went ahead and I made some pink frosting, and all I did is I just used that black frosting recipe that I show you how to make in my other video, but instead of adding 10 drops of food coloring, I only added about 5 drops of red. So grab your brush and dip it into the frosting and just put a little paint into the ear. After you finished painting the pink ears, then your bear is done. In this photo, there's some variations on the Marshmallow Bears, like I made some boy and girl bears. And I also just tied some ribbons around the pop sticks to give the bear pops a more finished look. So that's it. I hope you have a blast making these bears, and I hope you have even more fun giving them away. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel and come back again sometime.